The first slide is the power distance slide based on HOfsTede's dimensions. A low power distance indicates that the power is shared and widely dispersed. As you can see, the power distance for both Australia and Germany are relatively equal. However, my interviewee did notice something. She went to Germany in 2014. She noticed that the playing field among employees, their managers and so forth has become more level, and that there is greater equality among workers. However, she stated that things have changed since the last time she went to Germany, which was during the 1970s. She noted that back then, Germany had a much higher power distance. There was a hierarchical system in place in the 70s whereby the emphasis was on seniority. Back then, it was the head manager who made decisions, without informing his subordinates about the changes to be made. Lower level employees simply had to follow decisions by those high up in the hierarchy. Individualism. Australia's is very high at 90, whilst Germany is high at 67. Thus, both countries are individualistic in their nature. Hence, one can say that Germany tends to do things its own way. It relies little on the group, but more so on personal achievement. An enjoyment of challenges and expectation of individual rewards for hard work are part of individualism. My interviewee stated that when she arrived in Australia, she noticed that in Australia the policy seems to be work to live, while in Germany people live to work. My interviewee stated that work ethic in Germany seems greater than it does in Australia. This creates ethical issues regarding behaviour in the workplace. Should an Australian travel to Germany and work for a German company, they must forgo their individualistic mindset and focus more on the group. As you can see, masculinity for both cultures is relatively equal. Both are somewhat higher masculinity. Money and achievement are important, more than orientated consensual relationships. There are ethical implications involved. My interviewee stated that if a female were to go to Germany, they would soon find that, if they come from a feminine country, they would be at an ease, as it is the males who would call the shots in the workforce. Women must show deference to their superiors, particularly male superiors. Men are expected to behave assertively by demonstrating their success and being strong and fast, as these are seen as positive characteristics of masculinity. Germany rates high on uncertainty avoidance compared to Australia. For Germans, it's about predictability in the workforce, whereas Australians are much more relaxed, open and inclusive. My interviewee described working in Australia much less taxing compared to working in Germany. Germans, she said, are more rigid in their work. Thus, an Australian visiting Germany and working there cannot take the same blasé attitude to work, as this is considered disrespectful. There is a huge difference in long-term orientation between Australia and Germany. Australia's is rated at 21, whereas Germany's is rated at 83. Germans, therefore, encourage thrift and efforts in modern education as a way to prepare for the future. Australians, on the other hand, prefer to maintain time-honoured traditions and norms while viewing societal change with suspicion. Ethical implications are obvious. Germans are far more rigid and forward-thinking when it comes to work, whereas the same cannot be said from those from Australia. My interviewee has lived in both countries for an extensive period of time. She stated that she prefers the Australian approach to work, as she states that it's far less taxing. Indulgence. Australia scored high with 71, whereas Germany scored a low 40. Australia's lifestyle is one of enjoying life and having fun. In Germany, though, there is more emphasis on suppressing gratification and more regulation of people's conduct and behaviour, and there are stricter social norms. Again, my interviewee stated she preferred our culture due to the fact that it's less stressful. An Australian undertaking work in Germany might be in for a shock. There is less autonomy in the workplace, there is greater regulation regarding behaviour, and there are stricter societal norms. Australians just wish to do their jobs without great regulation and restriction of autonomy. Thus, they should understand Germans' approach to working when working in Germany.